Welcome to today's video about early symptoms of high blood pressure. Your body is constantly sending you messages, but are you listening? Every single day, millions of people experience subtle warning signs that their cardiovascular system is under attack, signs so quiet they're dismissed as normal parts of life. Yet, these whispers could be your body's desperate attempt to warn you about high blood pressure, the silent destroyer that's methodically damaging your heart with every beat. High blood pressure affects nearly half of all adults worldwide, earning its reputation as the silent killer because it strikes without obvious symptoms until serious damage has occurred. But recent medical research has revealed something crucial. Your body actually does try to warn you. The problem isn't that high blood pressure is truly silent, it's that we've become deaf to its subtle language. If you're new to our channel, welcome to a community dedicated to transforming your health knowledge into life-saving action. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our evidence-based content that could change your life. Drop a comment below telling us what country you're watching from. We love connecting with our global health community, and your participation helps us create content that serves you better. Today, we're decoding 10 scientifically backed early warning signs that could indicate your heart is crying out for help. These aren't dramatic symptoms that send you rushing to the emergency room. These are the subtle signals that most people ignore: morning headaches, unexplained fatigue, occasional breathlessness that could be your cardiovascular system's way of telling you something is seriously wrong before it's too late. Please note, this video is for informational purposes only, and not a substitute for medical advice. All research is verified. References are linked in the description. Now, let's go through the warning signs of high blood pressure, starting at number 1, morning headaches. Every morning, you wake up with that familiar dull ache settling behind your eyes or wrapping around your skull. You blame it on stress, poor sleep, or perhaps that glass of wine from the night before. But this daily greeting from your brain could actually be an urgent distress signal about your cardiovascular health. Medical research has uncovered a connection between morning headaches and high blood pressure that most people never recognize. When blood pressure rises during sleep, it creates increased pressure inside your skull. This pressure builds throughout the night, peaking in the early morning hours when you wake. These aren't ordinary headaches from dehydration or tension. They're your brain's way of signaling that your cardiovascular system is under strain. The same pressure causing your morning headache is simultaneously forcing your heart to work harder and potentially causing damage to your vital organs. What makes this concerning is that these headaches often respond to over-the-counter pain relievers, leading people to believe they've solved the problem when they've merely masked a symptom of something more serious. Your morning headache isn't just an inconvenience. It could be the first sign in a series of events that leads to more serious heart problems. Next, symptom 2, shortness of breath. Climbing a single flight of stairs leaves you gasping for air. Walking to your mailbox makes you feel like your lungs can't capture enough oxygen. Most people dismiss this as being out of shape or simply getting older, but this subtle breathlessness could be your heart's cry for help. When blood pressure elevates, it creates effects throughout your entire circulatory system. Your heart, forced to pump against increased resistance, begins working overtime just to deliver basic oxygen to your tissues. Meanwhile, your arteries may start to stiffen and narrow, creating restrictions in blood flow. This subtle breathlessness has been connected to early heart dysfunction, a condition where your heart's main pumping chamber begins to struggle before you notice anything is seriously wrong. What's particularly concerning is that this dysfunction often begins silently, with shortness of breath being one of the first warning signs. Think of your heart as a muscle that's been forced to work harder every single day. Eventually, even the strongest muscle will begin to show signs of strain. That slight breathlessness you feel after routine activities isn't just temporary fatigue. It's your heart muscle struggling to keep up with demands. It wasn't designed to handle long-term. Next, symptom 3, irregular heartbeat. Your heart suddenly skips a beat, flutters in your chest, or races without warning. Most people experience these sensations and assume they're caused by stress, too much caffeine, or anxiety. But these irregular heartbeats could be early warning signs that high blood pressure is affecting your heart's electrical system. Your heart operates on a sophisticated electrical system that ensures it beats in perfect rhythm, delivering blood exactly when and where your body needs it. But high blood pressure doesn't just affect the physical structure of your heart, it can disrupt these electrical pathways, creating irregularities where there should be coordination. Research has shown that chronic high blood pressure increases the risk of developing irregular heart rhythms that can weaken heart function over time. These electrical disruptions often begin subtly, a skipped beat here, a flutter there, before potentially progressing to more serious rhythm problems. Inside your chest, elevated blood pressure can force your heart chambers to stretch and thicken beyond their normal design. This physical remodeling can disrupt normal electrical pathways, creating areas where electrical signals get delayed or take abnormal routes. The result is those palpitations you feel, your heart's electrical system struggling to maintain normal function under abnormal pressure. Next, symptom 4, chest tightness. A heavy sensation settles on your chest, not crushing you, but creating persistent pressure that makes every breath feel slightly more difficult. This isn't the dramatic chest pain from movies. This is something more subtle and perhaps more dangerous because it's so easily dismissed. Chest tightness from high blood pressure doesn't announce itself dramatically. Instead, it appears through sensations of heaviness, pressure, or constriction that many people describe as feeling like someone is gently squeezing their chest. This symptom often comes and goes, leading people to dismiss it as stress, indigestion, or muscle tension. The American Heart Association warns that unmanaged blood pressure creates stress on the heart muscle that can lead to oxygen shortage. What's happening inside your chest is concerning. Your heart muscle requires a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood to function properly. But high blood pressure can make it more difficult for your coronary arteries to deliver that vital supply. Your heart becomes like an engine forced to run at high capacity without adequate fuel delivery. The chest tightness you feel may be your heart muscle experiencing a shortage of oxygen, not enough to cause immediate damage, but enough to make your heart struggle with every beat. Next, symptom 5, fatigue. Every morning feels like you never slept, and you drag yourself through each day exhausted. Despite accomplishing simple tasks, you collapse into bed completely drained. Most people attribute this to busy lifestyles or stress, but this crushing fatigue could be your heart, sending a message about its declining ability to keep up with demands. This isn't normal tiredness from a long day or workout. This is persistent exhaustion that rest doesn't cure, a feeling that your body's energy is constantly running low. What's happening in your cardiovascular system is significant. Your heart may be working overtime, pumping against increased resistance, using enormous amounts of energy just to maintain basic circulation. Medical research has demonstrated connections between hypertension and early signs of heart-related fatigue. Studies show that before traditional heart problems become apparent, the heart may begin to struggle with its workload, leading to physiological changes that manifest as persistent, unexplained exhaustion. High blood pressure can force your heart to work significantly harder than normal just to maintain adequate blood flow to your organs and tissues. The fatigue extends beyond just heart exhaustion. High blood pressure affects your entire circulatory system, potentially reducing the efficiency of oxygen and nutrient delivery to every cell in your body. Next, symptom 6, blurred vision. Looking through your eyes feels like peering through a fogged window. Everything appears slightly out of focus. Colors seem muted, and details appear fuzzy. You might assume you need new glasses or that you're straining your eyes, but this visual disturbance could be connected to your heart health. Your eyes contain some of the smallest and most delicate blood vessels in your body. These tiny vessels, particularly those in your retina, are sensitive to changes in blood pressure. When hypertension affects your body, your eyes often show early signs of vascular changes. The medical term for this is hypertensive retinopathy. High blood pressure can cause the delicate blood vessels in your retina to narrow, leak, or become damaged, creating visual disturbances that range from subtle blurring to more noticeable vision changes. Research has revealed that changes in retinal vessels often reflect similar changes occurring in blood vessels throughout your body. The connection many people don't realize is this. If high blood pressure is affecting the blood vessels you can see in your eyes, it may be causing similar changes to blood vessels you can't see in your heart, brain, and kidneys. Your blurred vision isn't just an inconvenience. It could be a visible sign that your vascular system is experiencing pressure-related changes. Next, symptom 7, pounding in chest, neck, or ears. Lying in bed at night, you suddenly become aware of your heartbeat pounding forcefully through your chest, up into your neck, and even in your ears. Each beat feels like a drum being struck inside your body. Most people assume this is normal, especially during stress. But this pounding sensation could be your cardiovascular system signaling that something needs attention. When blood pressure rises, it creates increased tension throughout your arterial system, turning your blood vessels into tighter, more rigid tubes. This increased tension means that every heartbeat creates a more forceful wave of pressure traveling through your circulatory system. What you're feeling is the increased force required for your heart to push blood through a system that has become less accommodating to normal flow. Medical literature identifies this pounding sensation as a common complaint in patients with high blood pressure, yet it's frequently dismissed as anxiety or stress. This symptom often becomes more noticeable during quiet moments, lying down to sleep, sitting quietly, or during relaxation when external distractions are minimized. The pounding you feel isn't imagination. It's the physical manifestation of your heart working against increased resistance throughout your circulatory system. Each forceful beat represents your heart muscle contracting more vigorously than it should need to, expending extra energy and experiencing additional strain with every heartbeat. Next, symptom 8, dizziness. Standing up from your chair triggers a sudden sensation that the world is shifting or spinning slightly. Walking creates a momentary feeling that the floor isn't quite solid. Most people dismiss these episodes as getting up too quickly or low blood sugar, but these dizzy spells could be your brain's way of telling you that your cardiovascular system isn't delivering adequate blood flow. Dizziness related to high blood pressure is more complex than most people realize. When blood pressure chronically elevates, it can set in motion changes throughout your circulatory system that may impair blood flow to your brain. Your brain requires a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood to function properly, and even small disruptions can create sensations of dizziness or lightheadedness. Research has shown evidence that frequent dizziness can precede serious heart complications. Studies demonstrate that dizziness isn't just an isolated symptom. It's often an indicator that your cardiovascular system may be beginning to struggle with maintaining adequate blood flow throughout your body, particularly to your brain and other vital organs. High blood pressure can cause your arteries to narrow and stiffen, creating resistance that makes it more difficult for your heart to deliver blood where it's needed. The dizziness you experience could be your brain's way of signaling that it's receiving less oxygen and nutrients than it requires for optimal function. Next, symptom 9, nosebleeds. Wiping your nose reveals bright red blood, or you wake to find blood on your pillow with no memory of trauma. While nosebleeds have many causes, sudden and unexplained nosebleeds, especially in adults who rarely experienced them before, could be your body's way of revealing that blood pressure has reached concerning levels. Nosebleeds related to high blood pressure aren't the occasional minor bleeding from dry air or irritation. These are often more sudden, more profuse, and occur without obvious triggers like environmental factors or physical trauma. What's happening in your nasal passages may reflect a larger process occurring throughout your circulatory system. Medical organizations have highlighted nosebleeds as a potential warning symptom, explaining that pressure-related rupture of nasal vessels can occur during blood pressure spikes. Your nasal passages contain some of the most delicate blood vessels in your body, And these tiny vessels are particularly vulnerable to increased pressure that hypertension creates. The connection many people don't make is this. If blood pressure is high enough to cause blood vessels in your nose to rupture spontaneously, what does that suggest about the pressure being exerted on blood vessels throughout your body? The same force causing your nosebleeds may be straining blood vessels in your heart, brain, kidneys, and eyes. Next, symptom 10, facial flushing or redness. Looking in the mirror reveals that your face appears more flushed than usual, not from embarrassment, exertion, or warm weather, but seemingly without obvious cause. Your cheeks, forehead, or entire face takes on a reddish hue that comes and goes unpredictably. This facial flushing could be a visible sign that high blood pressure is causing changes in your blood vessels. Facial flushing from hypertension occurs when elevated blood pressure causes small blood vessels in your face to dilate abnormally. Unlike temporary flushing from alcohol or emotional stress, hypertension-related flushing often appears without obvious triggers and may persist longer than expected. What you're seeing is a demonstration of how high blood pressure affects blood vessels throughout your body. Medical studies have identified facial flushing as a visible clue to underlying hypertension, particularly during pressure surges when blood pressure temporarily spikes even higher than baseline levels. What makes this symptom valuable as a warning sign is that it's visible. You can see evidence of what high blood pressure may be doing to your vascular system. The flushing you notice isn't just cosmetic, it reflects vascular changes that may be occurring in blood vessels throughout your body, including those that supply your heart muscle. When blood pressure causes facial blood vessels to dilate inappropriately, similar changes may be occurring in coronary arteries and other critical parts of your circulatory system. Your body has been equipped with an early warning system designed to protect you from cardiovascular events. Every morning headache, every moment of breathlessness, every irregular heartbeat, and every episode of unexplained fatigue could be your body's attempt to communicate that your heart needs attention. The tragedy of high blood pressure isn't that it's silent, it's that we've become deaf to the signals our bodies send us daily. These 10 symptoms aren't random inconveniences or normal signs of aging. They're messages from a cardiovascular system that may be asking for help before serious damage occurs. By recognizing these early warning signs, you're taking the first step toward protection. High blood pressure may be called the silent killer, but as you've learned today, it's not actually silent. It communicates through subtle symptoms that, when recognized and addressed early, may help prevent heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure. If you've recognized yourself in any of these 10 symptoms, don't wait for them to worsen. Your heart is too precious to ignore, and early intervention could make a significant difference in your cardiovascular health and quality of life. Remember, your body is always communicating with you. The question is whether you're listening. These 10 symptoms could be your heart's way of asking for attention before it becomes too late to take preventive action. If this video helped you understand the early warning signs your body might be sending you, kindly type "helpful" in the comments below. Knowing this information resonated with you motivates us to continue creating content that could make a real difference in people's lives. Please hit that like button if you found this information valuable. Share this video with anyone who needs to hear these potentially important warning signs. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more health content that puts your well-being first. Thank you for taking the time to learn about your cardiovascular health. Your heart will thank you for paying attention to what it's been trying to tell you.